So yeah, I should have done this after the review for One Cut of the Dead. I should have been like, yay, I've kept it short, woo, we're done. Pause. Okay, let's talk about the movie. And I don't know why I didn't put it on the end of that, but here I am. I'm making another video about One Cut of the Dead. So unlike the previous video I did, I'm going to spoil the shit out of this because I really want to talk about this film and just what a good experience my sister and I had in watching it. All right, so once a week, well, pre-lockdown, of course, my sister and I will try to watch something. It might be a TV show like Mandalorian or sometimes a movie. So we watched Don't Breathe. It was fine. It was an enjoyable movie. And then, all right, that was my choice, and she chose One Cut of the Dead. And I think she chooses better flicks than I do. Yeah, this movie's a lot better than Don't Breathe. Though I'm pretty sure I gave him the same score. I'm not too sure. Anyway, this film, the first maybe 37, 35 minutes or so, is the actual zombie movie. And it starts out like a zombie movie. A bit weird and a bit funny. And a bit funny because funny things are happening, but things that are head scratching. And at one point I said to Michelle, I don't know, low budget horror. They're trying to make it work, I guess. It was working. There was just these really weird things in it. And then we get to the 35, 37 minute point, and the credits roll. And I'm scratching my head, and I'm sitting like, there's no way that was it, right? And we're sitting there. I haven't seen a trailer or anything, so I have no idea what's coming, right? And then it happens. The movie goes back in time, and I'm like, oh, they're setting up the stuff leading up to the zombie apocalypse? That's kind of shit. And then, like, I'm like Marge Simpson going, like, I don't think that's a good idea. But as I'm watching it, you really get to know the cast and crew that made this zombie flick. The second half of the movie isn't a prequel to any zombie apocalypse or anything like that. It's a behind the scenes making of One Cut of the Dead. And you got the director, his daughter, his wife. You got this big main actor star who's a bit of a dick. You got this other actress who's like really lazy and all this kind of stuff. And he's got to kind of make all this work. He has to make this zombie flick work. It's like for a TV channel, for a TV station, they need 37 minutes live, uncut. And all the little weird things that I saw in this 37-minute chunk of horror comedy, that I was like, that's weird, or why did the zombie just stop? Then continue, then stop again. I'm like, all right, was the lady getting through to this human part of his brain or something? I'm like, okay, they're not going that way. This is a bit weird. And why is this one zombie always like real melodramatic and stuff? And it's kind of, and this second half, it's more than the second half. Like the 37, 40 minutes of that, the rest of the movie, I guess the other half, is this. And I was absolutely thoroughly charmed by the whole thing. Like, things go wrong as they're making the movie. One guy's like really drunk on sake, so the director kind of has to hold him up. And then when he sobers up and he has to be in zombie mode, he's like really silly, and all these kind of weird things that I had a problem with. The zombie portion of the movie was addressed in this portion, and I had a growing smile on my face. I went from Marge Simpson just going, that's not a good idea, to, okay, this movie is absolutely charming and amazing. And I'm sitting there just with a big grin on my face. All I knew was Japanese horror, and it was Japanese horror comedy. And I'm like, yep, I can go with that. Then it was this sweet movie that, oh, the ending of it. I won't go right into the really, really big ending, but oh, fuck it. you know, the director's shown a picture of him and his daughter when they were young, and it's just this really good big moment, and Michelle and I are like, eyes are welling up, and we've big smiles on our faces. The whole thing was just really well done. It was done for about $25,000, probably American, so closer to 50 Australian. But the only part of this movie that felt like low budget were the horror elements. Everything else kind of felt really good and really well done. Yeah, the only low budgetiness that I felt in this movie were the horror portions. And there's something amazing about the horror genre that I love, because so many directors have done so many weird, interesting, and creative things with the horror genre, whether it be camera work or storytelling or effects and things like that. This movie, directed by Shinichiro Ueda, is an absolute delight, and I've been thinking a lot recently on some of the scores that I've given since I've started doing the show, and some of them don't sit right with me. So I'm going to do a video at some point where I'm like, I'm going to revise these. And I've mentioned it in a few other reviews that I'm like, I've got to change the scores of some of these, because I don't think the score I gave them really did it justice, you know. Or my tastes change, or I feel like I like it more or less. Like, I met my sister for coffee, and the other day, and we were just talking about this movie nonstop. Yeah, so I'm going to change my score, because this is a movie I probably would watch a few times, because it's not just a good movie to watch and enjoy. This is the perfect movie. It's one of those perfect movies to show anyone. And even if you've seen it a million times, I'm going back on my previous review, but even if you've seen this movie a million times, I will bet you dollars to donuts, you will have a giant smile on your face as you see whoever you're watching this or showing this movie to reacts to what's happening. Now, the only thing is, like, it's a Japanese horror kind of thing, and a lot of you don't like subtitles, and that's a shame. Get over it. So I'm going to change the score, because I reckon this is a movie with a lot of mileage. A lot of mileage of watching it. Maybe not so much of watching it, because I said 1 or 2 views. I'm going to stand by that. But there's a lot of mileage in putting this movie on and showing someone who's never seen it, because I think they'll get a kick out of it. Don't even show them a trailer. Don't show them the trailer. If they're not into horror movies, still just try and sell them on this. It's something different. It's amazing. Bear with it. Trust me, you'll love it. That kind of flick. Because half the movie isn't a horror movie. It's this kind of behind the scenes making of a low budget horror movie, and it's fucking fantastic. I'm changing my score. Fuck you, it's my show. It's a 10. Yeah. It stuck with me. So I probably did the review too soon after watching it. This movie stuck with me. It's probably going to stick with me for a while. And it might be one of my go-to flicks to go, hey, have you seen this movie? No. Have you heard anything about it? No. Perfect. I'm going to put this on. Trust me. One Cut of the Dead is that good. Watch it. Share it. And, yeah, just see the smiles on people's faces. This is fucking good shit. Give me a like, dislike, share, and subscribe.